Hey all. Wow, did just my inner game come out of me? Welcome to the show. I'm going pop filterless today. We'll see how that goes because I'm trying to figure out how to talk into my mic but still look at the camera for Reformgelical. I found myself wanting to look and talk to you, but then I wanted you to hear me at the same time. So I'm going popless today. Hopefully that doesn't annoy you guys too much. Welcome to How to Build a Tent. My name is Matt Williams. Thank you for listening to the show, sharing the show with a friend, and supporting us on our book club, on Reformgelical. Just the support and subscriptions on YouTube and Patreon has been amazing. And of course, all of you at the Fight Laugh Feast Network that have been members, that is just an amazing blessing. It allows us to do this. It allows us to continue to come out with new podcasts, to try new ideas. And it's just a really big blessing. So I just want to say thank you. If you haven't already become a member, go to fightlaughfeast.com, put in HtBT in the memo field, and you will get a HtBT mug like this one right here. It's great. I love it. 15 ounces, holds tons of coffee. In fact, 15 ounces of coffee. That's why I call it 15-ounce mug. There is also a pint glass in there for you, but most of all, you are going to get amazing content and help us as we proclaim the Lordship of Jesus. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to. You can email me, matt@howtobuildatent.com. Find me on all the social media sites, How to Build a Tent. You can see all the different clips on our network, on I'm lost for words, on the podcast. That's what I want to say. And you'll also find clips of the network on the network's Fight Laugh Feast as well. Good news today. Good news. Prescriptions fell 2.3%. Real Donald Trump continues to drive price reductions. And then you can read the recent report on the CEA, which I'm honestly don't even know what that is, but I'm assuming that has to do with drug certifications. And I bring that up because, one, it is good news. I'm glad that prices are coming down. That's what you expect in a free market. But also to contrast the difference from what Donald Trump's trying to do, which is free market principles. I've heard him discuss before how he wants us to be able to buy drugs from out of the country that get those drugs cheaper, and also do other things as well. And then you have on the other side, Elizabeth Warren and all of these socialists who want the government to continue to take over healthcare, to further impose their restrictions, there's limits, their price constraints. And that always ends in just a terrible way because it encourages people to get out of business and it discourages people to do research and development. I was just reading and I tweeted it. I at least retweeted it. I was going to say something about Elizabeth Warren. I'm not sure if I did, come to think of it, because it was a few days ago. But there's this new cancer treatment that they're exploring, this company is exploring, where it forces your body to use your digestive system to the way you get rid of food. I'm not going to be getting any more graphic than that, but to use that system that we already have, that God created, to get rid of the bad cancer cells. And there's a lot of promising signs to that. And I was thinking that when you hear Elizabeth Warren, when you hear Bernie Sanders talk about socialized medicine and taking over and transforming the industry, what they're really saying is they don't want these advancements to happen anymore. Majority of advancements happen because companies are pursuing profits, because they are pursuing a return on their investment. And that has to be the way, because they need to make up the cost for all of the drugs that didn't work out, because millions and millions of dollars go into millions and millions of drugs, maybe not millions of drugs, but thousands of drugs that don't ever work out, and the companies don't make any money off of. I mean, you look at the stock market and stock prices of pharmaceutical companies, they're constantly going up and down. They're super volatile because it depends on approvals. It depends on success in testing. There's so many factors that go into it. And we need these companies to be able to make money off of these successful drugs, like being able to help treat cancer. We want this not just for the cancer's sake, but so that they can fund future developments as well. And when you hear socialists and you hear other big government people talk about how they want to lower prices, they want to control prices, you just need to translate that into they just want to take away the research and development. They want to take away the incentive for companies to continue to develop these great drugs. It's a very sad thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to try to share my screen, get a little fancy here for those on YouTube or watching live. This is from the Daily Wire. A few of you, there we go. Now you can see it, have sent me this article about In-N-Out Burger heiress celebrates company's biblical values. And I love this because it's an example of the faithfulness of a family and in their business. Since 1948, they have been putting forth their Christian values in this company. They pay well. They put Bible verses on their cups. And I think they've done their fries as well. Being from California, I know them well. That was loud. Sorry. Being from California, I'm very familiar with these people and this company. And it's actually pretty sad. Like, I think one of the founders, or the son and the wife, they died in a plane crash over in Van Nuys, I believe it was. But that's neither here nor there. And it's an article about the current heiress who she took over the industry, and she took over the company. I'm sorry. And she was talking about how she has had 3 divorces, and that she basically was saying, like, I had to find my identity back in Christ. I had to find my identity back in Jesus. She said, I finally found that the deep need in my heart can only be filled by Jesus and my identity in him. And I love this because, like, the family must have been heartbroken to see her go through these divorces. And it's encouraging that the legacy of this business has been able to last and have this Christian legacy where she has been able to find consistency, a place to fall back into. And she's taken this and her renewed commitment and her renewed faith and dived into it and continue to look for ways to push out and to endorse and to support and to preach the gospel more in the company. And she's talking about how she is adding verses in the drink cups and the fry containers. She puts John 3:16, Proverbs 24:16, Luke 6:35. This is really great. And another thing I wanted to talk about this article, which is really good, so thank you everyone who sent it to me, is that it's not uncommon for successful people, for people in business with people a lot of money, to go through several divorces. And a lot of the times it is because your identity isn't in the right place. Your priorities aren't in order. And this should be a cautionary tale to all of us, for those who are successful and have a lot of money and maybe your marriage is on the rocks, or for those of you who will one day get a lot of money, is you have to be grounded. You have to have your life centered in Christ, or these are the things that are going to happen. 3 marriages is a lot of marriages to go through. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of brokenness. It's a lot of heartache. And it's serious. And no matter what you're thinking in your current marriage, when you are putting off what you should, putting off your responsibilities, putting off your family, prioritizing other things that God wouldn't want you to put above your family and your relationships, it seems easier in the time, a lot of times, and that's why it happens, but it's always harder. A divorce is always hard, especially when you have kids. I'm a product of that as well. And let me tell you, for kids, divorce is harder as it goes on. It doesn't get easier. And you start seeing more and more of what that brokenness brings. And so I want to encourage you guys to, while maybe some of you aren't successful yet or don't have the kind of money that someone who is in the family of In-N-Out has, but while you're now with limited resources, while you have limited talents, while you have limited wealth, is to ground yourself now in the foundation and get into the patterns, get into the liturgies in your family with yourself, so that when you are blessed and when God does take you to a successful place, or if he does, we may not all get there, that you have this already in place. And it's just going to be a blessing for you instead of a curse, with a lot of success does. And so I want to just encourage you with that, and to remember that even like from 1948, the family that started this, a business can last so much longer than a lot of other things we do in this life. And it can be a lasting legacy, and it can be something for future generations to hold on to and to have as a altar almost of what you started and what you created. It's just a beautiful example of business, and I absolutely love it. All right, I kind of went a little long on that. I wasn't expecting to. Let me hide that screenshot. I just want to thank you for listening. I appreciate all of you guys and your support. I really do. And I'd look forward to talking with you, hearing where you guys are at, hearing your stories, hearing how the show's blessed you. And we will talk to you tomorrow. God bless.